How you doing? This is the making of my power pads. I'll insert a picture over here somewhere. Of the finished product. Basically, I buy a whole roll of this stuff from your online retail store like Amazon or something. It's pretty thick. One side of it is smooth, the other side is the raw, unfinished. I don't know how they make it like this. I'm not sure, but it works. So I'll just go ahead and show you how I make it. First, I cut it straight like this into pieces like this big. And then the second step is I'll go ahead and slide those in half. I mean, it would be easier to cut this with a pair of scissors, but you don't end up with the straight edges like when it's cut by using a blade. Perhaps I should draw lines on it to equal the width of the racket. For example, I got this racket mounted over here. I'll take it off to show you. This Speed MP happens to have 4 grommet holes, actually 8 grommet holes in the throat area, so I would need 4 power pads to cover the distance between each grommet hole. So judging by eye, each grommet hole each piece about this big. It's okay for it to be a little bit bigger. I find that it's not good to cut it too narrow, because if it's too narrow, then it gives it too much room to move about when you go ahead and pull tension on the string, so it may not sit center. Sometimes you may end up have it leaning toward one side or the other. So I'll go ahead and finish my cutting. I mean, this isn't my first time doing this, so I have a pretty good idea of how wide it needs to be. But if you're not sure, then it's better to measure it out and draw lines on your leather in advance. See, it's pretty good. And let me try cutting it from the reverse side. I don't know if that's gonna be any faster at all, but actually it is, because I think the reverse side is I don't know, either thicker or thinner, so I think it's thicker. So once the reverse side is cut through, then it's pretty fast to finish the rest, to finish the whole piece. As you can see, here's the downside of cutting it by eye. As you can see, this piece in particular is narrower than the other 3 pieces. I'll cut one more. Yeah, this one is perhaps slightly even wider. it's not too bad when I rotate it 90 degrees actually. Yeah. This piece I think it's too narrow, so I'm gonna get rid of that piece. Okay, so to finish this off, I will cut them again by another half. Actually, you know what? Originally, I was thinking to cut each of these pieces by half, and you end up with 2 usable pieces instead of 1. But then, as you can see, if I cut them by half, then the width that's left over is not wide enough. So I've just changed my mind. I'm gonna just trim each of these pieces by maybe 1/3 shorter, 1/3 less. So I'll end up cutting out a lot of waste, but the end result will be better and prettier, I guess. Because if you end up having a piece that's too small, then it may not go on there correctly. Of course, you can buy these power pads pre-made by places, but I don't feel like spending the money for that. So that's my finished product for one piece. Okay, and I'll do the rest of this stuff. It helps to have steady hands, so if you don't have steady hands, then perhaps in that case it's better to use a pair of scissors. Another piece. It's actually a little wider than I anticipated. I mean, you could be very perfect about this, or you could be kind of rough. After all, if it goes on, it goes on. It won't move after you pull 40 to 50 pounds of tension on it. It's not going to go in here. So I'll show you the way I used to do it. Is I would just cut it with this. Okay, there it is. Perhaps that's the fastest way, but you don't end up with the smoothest edge, you see, because this is an offset cutter. But that didn't come out too bad, actually. And I'm gonna try another way, which is using my scissors, so I'll be right back. Let's see here. Alright, this one I'll cut it this way with my scissors. Yeah, this is too hard to cut with this type of scissor that's made for a softer material. So I'll give up on that idea. I'll finish this with my blade, actually. I usually score a light line with the blade, just like this, and then I go in harder. If it's not going in easily, then use your other hand to apply pressure. And that went through. Okay, that's it. That's the amount of waste, and that's the leftover product. So those are the 4 pieces I'll be using. With that, thank you very much for watching, and let me know if there's any comments down below. I'd really appreciate it. product with the stencils.